inspired are you by the thoughts you think, the words you use, the feelings you feel, and the core values and beliefs that you live by? It's not so black and white, and there are many missing pieces of the puzzle. The more information we have on diet, exercise, and weight loss, the higher the rates of body dissatisfaction and life dissatisfaction we have than ever before in history. I want to leave you with two things by the end of this talk. One, how greater self-love will inspire your life. And two, how to cultivate more of it. One of the first and most basic fundamental needs that we have as humans is a connection through love, a bond. I remember it like it was yesterday, feeling so much love and adoration for my mom, who in my eyes, she was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. She was a mix between a supermodel and superwoman, and she could do no wrong. I used to love watching her get dressed, watching her get ready for going out, dressing in beautiful outfits. And I would always compliment her. Mom, that dress, oh, it's so beautiful on you. Where are you going? Let's take a picture. Oh, I love that. That looks so good. And in return, I would receive, oh, this? Oh God, no, I look so fat today. No pictures. Oh God, oh no, no, no. Like a slap in the face. I felt wrong. I was wrong. Well, I was extending love that she couldn't accept at that time because of a block of her own. When will it be that we need to stop justifying, people-pleasing, looking outside ourselves for validation about our worth that we know comes from within? Maybe if we felt that true depth of worth and love for ourselves, we wouldn't constantly be comparing to everyone else, looking at others and feeling that if they succeed, that means I must fail. If they're good, I must be bad. This natural scarcity and this feeling of competition with all those around us. When will it end? I know it's possible for us to look in the mirror and see true beauty, see love with kindness, compassion, empathy, and true magnanimous love. Magnanimous is deeper than unconditional love. It goes to the depths that include compassion and kindness, true depth.
Shopping for tires used to really grind my gears. That's before I went to TireRack.com. I got the best deal hands down. TireRack even gave me 2 years of free road hazard protection. Precisely.
Diets don't work. Love does. Negative emotions cause nervous system chaos, while positive emotions bring the nervous system into alignment. We make better choices for our lives and for our health when we come from a positive emotional space. And we feel it right here. Did you know we have on average 70,000 thoughts in a single day? And did you know that 98% of those thoughts are repeats from yesterday? And that about 80% of them are negative towards ourselves or somebody else. How do you think all that negativity is making you feel? Love. It's one of those first things we feel, but while we go through these experiences in life that shut us down a little, I want to get closer to you, so I compliment you. I'm in awe of you. And yet a little bit, by a little bit, we get closed down. We get shut down. I feel very fortunate to have had an experience like I did. Upon being born, I was removed from my parents shortly after, and they were told that I had a heart defect. I was not all right. I had to be taken away to put in an incubator, and true fear came over them, as it would any parent. What I didn't realize at the time, and only now looking back at it, was that all the attention, all the love, healing, the worry, the positive vibes that were sent to me growing up, in all my many visits to the hospital, checking up on me, making sure I was still okay, unbeknownst to me, this actually strengthened my heart. Did you know positive emotions actually strengthen the integrity of our heart, our arteries? We can literally harden our own arteries of our heart through negative emotion. It's quite fascinating. Gratitude. We've learned a little bit about this today, and we know it is that secret ingredient. I feel very grateful that my mortality was shown to me from a very young age. You have a problem. Let's make sure you're always okay. I wasn't sure there was always going to be a next day. So I lived in gratitude. And I knew the feeling when my mom didn't like my compliments or didn't receive them, that I didn't want to do that to others. So these were two really great lessons in my life. Interestingly enough, though, it wasn't until the biggest life lesson of pregnancy and postpartum came to teach me something that I had not yet learned.
Yeah, I'm sure.
The depth, the true depth of self-love. Day after day, thousands of babies are being born, and moms are feeling the pressure of needing to lose weight, of look a certain way, of doing certain things to make sure they measured up. But we really don't want to lose weight in that time of our lives. We don't want to focus on...
She's dilated, but 50% effaced. So, and you need to have contractions to go. I'm still going to try to crush it for you guys.
You think she's gonna?
I think it'll be this weekend. If it's not, the earliest she can be induced is 39th week. She's 38 this weekend. She said 39th. I don't know if that means next weekend or at the end of your 39th week.
I predict. I think Friday morning.
I think this weekend. I'm calling it. Yeah.
So if it is this weekend, are we gonna have class on Tuesday?
I'll give you documentaries to watch
Oh, okay.
at your leisure.
We're not gonna have no class on Tuesday.
So I'm making my bingo.
No, this is the second assignment.
Oh.
This is the second one. So that's why I did want to show this to you guys though before I leave.
Once everything's perfectly organized, I'll start working on my thesis.
No, your genogram. I can show you the video again, but this is the eco map, which is different. Genogram is your family tree and family history and like mental health, and like physical problems, and all of that. Eco map is your energy throughout the week. Where do you go? Where do you spend your time? Are you at the bar every day, all day, every night, wasting your student loans? Or are you studying? Are you at church? Are you at the calf? Are you working out? Like there's so many options that you can. So this is, do you have, before I jump to assignment 2, is my wife is 1 centimeter dilated, 50% effaced.
What's the face?
Fuck. Let me read it.
I've never heard of a face.
So it says, here's the dialogue. I am 1 centimeter. I said, you want to go to the hospital? No. 50% effaced, which means half of my cervix is gone,
Oh,
which is huge.
that's good.
whatever the fuck that means. She said, let them know in the next few days if I want to be induced. Okay, probably will. And then Sarah said, I would totally. And then she touched the baby's head, and then she showed a vomit sign.
She touched the baby's
Yes,
head?
dude.
Like,
Because they crown and shit. Like, your cervix. Ugh. Maybe I should type some of that in and see what comes up.
Another video.
The video,
Images we have.
50% effaced and touched baby's head.
Oh my God.
Like the doctor. Let's see what we
Your
get here.
search history probably go crazy.
Think of the face mirrors, the cervix getting shorter and thinner. Do we want that?
That's the opening the baby goes through. So
So it gets open.
yeah. And your cervix at 10 centimeters, it's like the baby's head is like this. And then even like cone heads, as it like squeezes out, it's like a cone head. And then it like, when you have the baby, it flattens or whatever. You know what I mean?
Or it gets rounded.
Yeah, because the head's the biggest thing that comes out at first. And then they'll have me cut the umbilical cord. It's like cutting flesh. You're like, it's
It'll
like,
be your fourth time.
yeah,
Probably not the last time.
it's kind of gross. It is gross.
Do your wife let you eat in the same room as her? Like when she.
Oh, I like gotta hold her fucking leg. So like a nurse will hold the leg and I'll hold them. They'll go 1, 2, 3, push. They say act like you're taking a dump, and they're like, and then like they follow like there's a chart that shows the what are they called, contractions. And the contractions are your like muscles like pushing.
That baby.
And so you want to push the same time your contraction is.
I heard like period cramps is just like 10% of what a contraction feel like.
10%. Just
10%.
So she's
lying on the floor.
she's 1 centimeter. That's 2 centimeters. They only let you in the hospital at 4. There's 5. 8 would be like.
Could
Why?
you force them to let you in? Like if you're like.
An induction at 39 weeks. That's the earliest we can induce. So
They just give you medicine so you can.
they give you Pitocin and it forces contractions. Like it hurts like shit. So cervical effacement. There it is. So.
Do you be calculating the time between her contractions? Or
Yes. Yeah, they watch it. Like the nurses are like, all right, take a break. To go in the hospital, yes, they do have to be like a certain amount apart. Like a few minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't think this will be.
And I was on my husband eating. With
You'll
me,
be
like,
fine.
I can't eat for hours and stuff like that. Don't be eating.
Oh, yeah. They don't want you to eat in case they have to go in for surgery. That's true. They give you like ice chips and shit. So,
I was.
so that's where she is. Do we ever finish some of chapter 3 anyway? Just in case, my goal is to show you how to make an eco map. I know you're making your genogram. So if you have any questions, ask them now.
Can we see the video? I wasn't here when y'all watched the video.
Of the genogram or the eco map?
Ego map for me.
Eco map?
The first one.
Okay.
The one I'm making right now, I want to make sure I'm making it right.
Genogram. I already
Genogram.
made it, so if I didn't make it right,
Yeah, because like I put like there's probably like the family illnesses or whatever, or not illnesses, but like
Right.
I put it like in a corner. Like,
Yeah. I always show the shortest one, so maybe it's attention span, but
Mommy side.
here you go.
Oh.
Yeah, that's family right there.
This is
What
it.
is a genogram? A genogram is a special type of family tree. A family tree will simply display ancestry information. However, a genogram will display additional information about the relationships of the individuals.
Male and female.
Genograms are drawn using standardized symbols to help the viewer understand the relationships. The basic family symbols include a square for a male and a circle for a female.
It's fine if you did it.
Genograms
Just
also
label it.
include special symbols to indicate if children are twins or if a child is a biological child or adopted, in case that information is helpful. Genograms also may include information about the actual emotional relationships. There are symbols to indicate a wide range of emotions ranging from friendship to hate.
To hate.
Genograms may also be
True,
used for
in
medical and
families.
genetic analysis by simply tagging individuals with particular traits. Let's look at an example that demonstrates this. We will use Star Wars and the Skywalker family as an example. Let's start by looking at Padme's family. Her father Rui, represented by a square, mother Jabal, represented by a circle. She also has an older sister named Soda. We know she's older because she is to the left. Let's get a bigger picture. We can see that Padme is in love with Anakin Skywalker, who is the son of Shmi Skywalker and the Force. Anakin and Padme have twins, Luke and Leia. However, Anakin does not know this and does not know about Leia. Luke is adopted by Owen Lars and Barry Whiteson. Owen turns out to be the son of Clea Lars, who married Anakin's mother after Owen's mother died. On the other hand, Leia is adopted by Bail Presser Organa and Brea until she takes the Organa family name. Luke has a close violence relationship with his father. They fight every time they see each other. Luke is friends with Han Solo, who marries Leia, and have a child named Ben.
Ben.
Anakin, Luke, Leia, and Ben are strong carriers of midichlorians. We can see a pattern from which we could begin to theorize that this is a...
So I know the examples he used is Star Wars. If you don't watch it, it looks weird, but the key is, so we're counseling people, and when we counsel them as a social worker, the most helpful information is like their family history, the genetics, the issues they come in with, if there's a history of alcoholism, if they got addiction in the family, if they were adopted, if there was fighting, if there was child abuse, if there was education history even helps. So that's why you're gathering all this. The more you gather, the better, because you're going to be able to counsel the person best with that. Any questions so far, as I can finish that if there are none. We're live. What's that? It is, yeah. Thanks. I drink a lot. I got a drinking problem.
That's not the right way.
True. But I'm tenured now. So. You can do it on paper, yeah. Yeah, so just make sure to like mark the marks he has, maybe diseases, graduated high school, graduated college. As detailed as you can get. Is like the better you do it on yourself, the better you know what to do with clients. So as detailed as you can get, because this is like your assessment. You know, this is how you're assessing people. Like, what is your presenting information? It's not good or bad. It's just like facts and details about family and upbringing, and all social work uses this. So they use it in every graduate school you'll go to. They'll use it in any program you go to will use this. And that's why there's so, you can like look online, you can see so much about the genogram and ego map. I don't know much about Star Wars, so that's all confusing to me.
Literally.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like, oh.
It's a lot. So I'll finish this one and show you guys the EcoMap Net, which is what I'm using this app for. It shows me like all throughout the day what I do. And it says I worked out today.
Did you?
I walk all the way across from where like I park by the police station, and then apparently they had to tow a car, so they called me and had me move mine. I had to run across and then run back. Do they tow cars a lot? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they be towing
They
like
be getting
crazy.
out.
Why? What for?
They do it for fun. They be bored.
Isn't that expensive as shit
So
though?
expensive. My car got towed 2 times last semester. I wasn't mad.
That's expensive.
They do that when
I
you park
simply
somewhere you
wouldn't
don't
give
supposed to be parked at,
Huh?
or if you don't
I
got your
wouldn't give
special
that.
sticker and you park somewhere
Okay.
next to the car.
But that's what
What'd you say?
I wouldn't have money to go pick up a car. Once
It's
my car
like
gets towed, it's
200
there.
something.
Right.
I was.
So I guess they do it to make sure you park exactly only where you're supposed
Yeah,
to
because
park.
you're not supposed. They said you're not supposed to park by the yellow, any curb painted yellow, because that's a fire, whatever. They didn't tell nobody that. First of all, everybody parks there, so they told me.
They don't care about that five
Isn't
minute
it
park.
all-
Everyone, okay, yeah, all of the
Somebody
campus
park right
it
there,
is yellow
They
curb.
stop,
So this
drive
not.
around, come back.
We're supposed to be a walking campus, so like you're not supposed to be driving anyways. That's why they be blocking the road and shit.
Yeah, so like yesterday, this is how I,
Campus is considered small.
any of you do this app yet? I mean,
I
it's
did
helpful.
it.
Cause like, it tells you what you do throughout the
Eco
day,
map.
and it's a good start. The Eco Map video is next.
That's all I got.
What is
Right,
this app
sleep
called?
and work. What'd you say?
What is this app called?
It-
Cycle.
It is called Life Cycle. What'd you say?
Because you keep talking about this app.
Right, I know.
I hope it's not called the Life Cycle app.
It's the Life Cycle app. Why?
You keep bringing it up. I don't know. He keep advocating for this.
They need to
We sponsor, right?
Like I need to get some money for it? Right.
Yes.
I agree with that. So that's
Hereditary trait.
the end of this.
As you can see, a genogram can provide a lot of information, and this is just the beginning. If you want to find out more information
What's that?
about
I said, mine's gonna look different, but that's cute too.
Right.
That's cute too.
That's what I'm saying. As long as you label it and you got your family history, medical, genetics, symbols, all that. It's so common in social work that like
She's talking about me.
I gotta see one and see if this.
the next one, this is a big one.
Wow, that's real
Right.
nice.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Hey.
Some people even get fancy color coded it, put in all the symbols, but like you will use this to counsel people and it's stuff to talk about. Like, tell me more about your uncle or like the alcoholism in your family or about the addiction and how that affected you when you started to drink. Were you afraid you couldn't drink normally? Were you afraid once you started you couldn't stop? Things like that. So that's why we do them. And now, what was the thing I looked up that was all weird?
Oh, right.
The surf.
So my wife is 50% effaced, and the doctor touched the baby's head. That's still.
Oh, I thought she touched the baby's head.
She could, but I don't know if you want to like reach up in you and touch the
Yeah.
baby. Like you could, but that when it starts to crown, that's weird if they got hair because it's just like literally when it does this.
Go on images. We can't see.
You want to see crowning? You want to see? It'll be gross. Baby crown.
Why don't we just see the head?
Usually.
Oh, that's so cute.
That's so cute.
They're so
Real life. Not like that, dude. Like images.
Maybe you have to put
Maybe put
crown in.
crown in. Yeah, I know. They're just showing you babies with crown.
Won't they show you?
You probably gotta
Put crown in.
Yeah, maybe crowning.
Like medical. Medically.
Oh my gosh. So like the head, we can see it.
There is like that much blood and guts. It's fine. Like they clean it up. They give you, oh God, they give you so many drugs. There you go. That's a good crown. Like that's,
Oh.
because that's 10 centimeters. So once your cervix gets to 10, that's the magic number. A lot of them will bounce on the balls. Like you go like, until it falls out of you.
For real?
Oh yeah. Like the people that do natural births will bounce and then they'll sit in the swimming pool. Have you seen the swimming pool births?
I've seen that. I like water. No, water.
It's like a baby pool.
Apparently,
See, like that.
yeah.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Apparently, we're not supposed to be laying down when you're having a kid.
I would feel like there's so many germs that could get on the swimming pool. Like, you know what I mean? I know it could be clean, but just think of all the weird stuff that's.
I think I would rather have a son first.
I would think so. So yeah, crowning is. There's all the mucus we were talking about.
That's why you don't eat. You can't eat.
I'll try to take some pictures without pissing off my wife.
You're pushing. So like if it's anything in your existence.
Right? Yeah, you could like. piss yourself. Well, like those Instagrams where they're getting a tattoo and they pee on the tattoo guy. Have you seen that?
No, that's crazy.
Like if you get like a tattoo down there, sometimes people leak or pee or whatever.
I have a
And I
tattoo
would say
down.
no.
I think it's where you're probably not supposed to get a tattoo.
Get
But
out.
yeah, when you're lifting heavy. And,
Yeah, I
like,
seen. I was like, ew, what the?
you got to strengthen that pelvic floor. So it's like these 6 muscles or whatever, and that way you won't. What is that? What is it? Is this because we're talking about weird stuff? We get ads for
Yeah.
liver
That's
health.
been there since I walked in.
So because my wife is dilated, I'm trying to show you quickly how to make an eco map. Hello. Oh, get you a sign-in sheet. Get you all out of here. Let's do that. And answer your questions. Yes. That's the idea, just in case, like.
She's dilated.
But
She's 50%.
with my luck, it'll be Friday morning, and we'll be back here.
We're not.
No. What do you need to happen?
That would miss more classes. If she has it like the day of class, you would miss more classes. If that's what you're.
So like if she has a baby, like let's say this weekend, we don't have no class for next week. Right?
I'll find you
Yeah,
the
like
documentaries.
Yeah. We get those. But
So
we're not
Paper
meeting-
Tigers. I'll find at least 4.
Okay, so but we're not meeting here though.
Correct. You can watch it at the leisure.
So do we need to take notes for the
Or
documentaries
tomorrow.
something?
You just watch it.
Yeah, I know that gives you a lot of leeway to be like, yeah, it was a great movie, but like ideally you'll watch it. I trust you guys. You're all adults.
Let
I
me
watched
get
it
a
out
class.
Yeah, I got some crazy ass shit that I watch some crazy shit.
Do our stuff go back? Like after we do get birth, that testing is like, can I?
Does it?
It can go back. Ideally, you do like, you might go to a physical therapist and do pelvic floor exercises.
I don't know. I'm talking about my whole private.
She did get stitches. She's afraid she's going to get stitches again.
Yeah.
Wait, this is
Well, the key is you don't grip between your anus and like you at least want 1 or 2 stitches. That's perfect.
At least.
And then I can be rude and tell the doc, put an extra stitch in for the old man. They'll be like,
Oh yeah, that's your sister. I heard about that.
I'm like.
they probably kick you out of the hospital.
Yeah,
That's
that's
terrible.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah.
Where have you heard
I heard
it?
about that, like.
I've heard somebody get told.
Okay, so like.
Okay.
you know, like,
Maybe that's where it came from.
No, I heard somebody like had their child's father ask for the husband. It was on TikTok though, and she was like mad about it.
I would have kicked him out of my life.
Literally.
I don't think it's that bad though. I ain't gonna lie. I be mad. I'm thinking it's like that.
Yeah, but it is gonna make you.
Oh, I'm thinking that. I was like, oh.
No, they're not gonna go in.
Oh, no, I'm talking about I'm talking about like the thing.
Oh, with the red?
Yeah,
Anybody
I don't want
here
this-
had a baby yet?
I don't want this stuff there.
Sometimes when I'm in class and somebody
No, we're
can
not saying you don't want it.
talk about it,
We're
it
saying you
helps.
don't like the husband stitch.
Oh.
Okay.
Where they be like, oh, let's.
You'll be fine if you want one, and yeah.
Maybe in the near future when I get a husband.
Right,
I'm thinking
yeah, yes, correct,
I gotta have a husband. I don't want to be a baby mama.
right. I get
You can't
that, for sure.
accidentally have this.
It's still hard even with 2 of you. It's very hard.
I want to keep it, but I'm scared.
You wake up in the middle of the night, you're like, shut up.
Do you be waking up for the baby?
I have been. Like I got our youngest in our bed now, and he'll wake up. He really wants his mom, so he'll like run into her room, and I sleep with him in the boys' room with the bunk bed. So he'll run in, like fling the door open, and she's like, "You could make the bottle." I'm like, "I know I can, but he wants you. Like he wants mom to go back to sleep." So that kind of sucks.
Cause she
I
has
just
to
wish
wake
I
up
could skip to
anyway.
like 4. And that's it.
Right. Just have.
The infant stage, the special.
Oh,
the
age
toddler
4. Okay,
stage.
right. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Age 4 would be. Oh.
The terrible twos is
Okay.
real.
Yeah, it is. It is.
No, seriously.
I feel like they're terrible until literally.
4s are bad. All right, you ready for your eco map? This is the longest one, but it's the best eco map I've ever seen.
Yeah.
If you did it this detailed, you got a freaking A+, man.
Eco map. An eco map is a diagram showing the social and personal relationships of an individual. As we make an eco map, we put the parent or child in the center and visually display the key relationships they have. We talk with parents and children from a strength-based and person-centered perspective, forming a relationship in which we work together to empower the parent or child. The eco map shows the important nurturing or conflict-laden connections between the family and the world. It demonstrates the flow of resources or lack thereof. As an assessment tool, an eco map can be helpful in determining the family's strengths, resources, needs, and deficits. It helps the parents and children to understand the various systems with which they interact, and it gives us the opportunity to encourage them to build upon their network if necessary. For example, we will make an eco map for Michelle, the author's daughter, a healthy 17-year-old teenager. But before we start with the example, let's explore what resources people usually have. When we think about support,
It's about, are you guys all teenagers here or is anybody 20 yet?
I'm 24.
So it does, so when you leave high school and go to college, it will be different. Like you were saying, you only go from like your room to the caf to class. Understandable. But think of like support. It could be Dr. Hunt right over there across the street. It could be, do they give you that workout place anymore? Do you even have access to CBG or whatever it's called? NPC? Did it open yet? God, man. I would go run there today if it was open. I would literally go run. But CAF, maybe the police, they got Narcan there, maybe their food pantry, maybe Dr. Hunt's food pantry, maybe the social work food pantry. We try to keep that open while I'm here. But here's sources of support. So these are the list you can write. This can also be drawn by hand. It won't be due for a few weeks after the first one is.
supports, we can divide them into informal and formal supports. Informal supports are family members and friends, people who don't get paid to be with us. On the other end are formal supports. We think about school, intervention programs, doctors, CPS, and CASA. Formal supports are assigned to work with us. They often get paid to do so. Between the formal and informal supports, there are the institutions we choose to be involved with. Examples are the workplace, clubs, faith organizations, and neighbors. That is
So it could be like church up here. Do they still have church anywhere up here?
Yeah.
Okay. It could be your formal support. You're paying tuition here, even if you got a scholarship, Dr. Hunt. Just thinking of things. And you can use your stuff at home. So if you want to add stuff when you're on break or summer or winter break, you can add that stuff in just to give a full, well-rounded picture of all your supports.
we meet people because we are part of the same group. When we draw an eco map, we look at all these realms of life to find support for the parent or child. Let's now see what Michelle's eco map looks like, what formal and informal support she has, what organizations she is part of, and who she is acquainted with at each of these organizations. We start by putting the person we interview in the middle of the paper and add some empty circles to get it started.
So that would be you
A
guys.
good first question to ask is, who is important in your life? Michelle will tell you about her parents, sisters, and boyfriend. When we ask Michelle where she spends most of her time, she will tell you she spends most of her time at school. We can ask her who important teachers are and who she spends time with at school. She has a friend at school she also meets outside of school. A good next question is, what groups, activities, or memberships do you hold or belong to? Michelle will then go into a long conversation that she is an activist and is a member of several activist groups and who she knows there. that she is a rock climber and who her favorite coach is and who her climbing friends are. She also tells you she goes to church and a church group, but she isn't close with anyone there. Since we cannot put in a person's name for her church activities, we just put church in the circle. This is a place she meets people and could possibly build on her support network. Asking Michelle about her neighbors, she'll tell you that she has a neighbor whom she could contact in case of emergency. Can the parent or youth you interview name an emergency contact? As a last question, we verify if the diagram is complete. Is there anyone missing? Are there any other groups or places you go to during the week? Michelle will tell you that she goes to vision therapy once a week to learn to focus better. Now we have identified whom Michelle spends time with. We'll review what questions we've asked to get here, and then we'll see how she relates to everyone. Here are some questions you may want.
What's that? Yeah, you're thinking of every dang support in your life, formal, informal, and like, yes.
Could you share this video with us?
Yeah.
Just email the whole class the link. I'm trying to do mine exactly like.
When I do announcements, yes, I can. Yep. And we're going to be done at the end of this, so y'all get ready. 3 minutes.
To ask to build the eco map.
So these are all the questions you can ask. You don't have to tell me what they are. You're more than welcome to. Like, yes, that will be awesome. It could give an idea. We can share them, but just like, again, think of you as the therapist. You're a social worker. Somebody's coming to you for support. Maybe it's a pregnant single mom and like looking for resources, or a boy in recovery that is just 18 and has no mom and dad, or just so you want to go over all this stuff with them.
The next step is to explore the quality of these relationships. Relationships might be depicted as close or distant, strong or weak, one-sided or mutual. Michelle loves her parents and thickens the line between herself and her parents. The arrows point both ways as she receives and gives love. She also loves her sisters, her boyfriend, and other friends, and identifies these relationships as reciprocal.
When she doesn't pay them.
Michelle mainly receives energy from her rock climbing coach, her teacher in school, and her vision therapist. So the arrow points towards Michelle, but not the other way. Michelle and her school counselor argue a lot. This relationship is a strenuous one. We put stripes to show the relationship is taxing. The relationship with
I told you to apply to that college.
Neighbors is not very active, but it gives Michelle peace of mind to have someone to go to in case of a fire or other pressing things. The dashed line shows the relationship, although significant, is tenuous. If the parents or youth you interview give a lot of energy to everyone, but don't receive much back, there is not a balance and it becomes draining. Or if the interviewee receives mostly energy, but is not giving much back, we can likewise be aware of the impacts this could have. As you can see, an eco map gives you a good overview of the dynamics of someone's relationships. It shows you what groups your individual belongs to, what support they have within each group, and where there is a possibility to grow the support network. It creates a meaningful dialogue between volunteer or caseworker and parent or child. Making an eco map together will give you the opportunity to gain understanding of the family's social environment and evaluate connections together. We put a date
That's
on
the
the
day
map.
the pandemic started.
Over time, relationships will change. If we give Michelle strategies on how to work with her counselor
Shit
and how
changed
to
after
make friends
that.
at church, we have empowered her. And maybe next time we make
Life
an
is
eco map
over.
with her, it will show.
I was
We hope you've enjoyed watching this video. We wish you success in learning more about the children and families you work with. Keep looking for how to reconnect the children with their relatives and other emotional supports. Remember
What's that?
that parents.
Oh, it was on spring break. They shut it all down.
Yeah, and we never came back.
Were you in college?
No, I was in high
That's
school.
what I thought. I know. I was.
I was freshman year. That was crazy.
So does that make some sense to y'all?
What was you mad?
And I know on the genogram. No, what did I call it? I know this focuses more on location, but like the location will tell you if you're at your friend's house or the counselor or the doctor or the wherever. That's why I like this because now I've got a month's data. I got all my years.
You on the brain a lot.
Work. Although I made my home work and then I make, which is confusing. So that's actually home. That is actually home. So like you would think there's more sleeping. Yeah, it is. When you start seeing them fill up, that's the whole year, but that's like every place. It is a lot, but for a whole year,
So you just tell it what its location is?
Oh, right. You can label them all, which is kind of cool. They're already tracking you. You might as well know what your habits are. Like, what am I doing in life? How did I get this crazy life?
I want to see my.
I wish I had it on when it was on when I went to India, when I went to Rome. It was on. Yeah.
When did you go? This summer?
I went when I taught at Miami University in 2019 to
Oh, you
India.
at this that long?
I went to Rome. What did you say?
You at this that long?
Yep. That's why it's kind of cool to see everything that comes up from it. You know what I mean? It's like you notice patterns in your life.